Have you heard of the Sirtfood diet? Well, it's actually not a restrictive diet at all. It's all about specific foods you should be adding to your diet. You may know some big names who've actually followed this, like a world famous singer, which we can't mention here, but she reportedly lost 100 pounds using this exact same method in 2019. Mixed martial artist Conor McGregor claims to have used this as well. Now the two international best-selling authors who created the Sirtfood diet, Glenn Madden and Aidan Goggins, have a new, even more incredible way to get these potent Sirtfoods to all Americans by combining them all into one revolutionary, powerful drink. It's called Ultimate Sirt Juice. It was designed to help you lose weight, support your overall health, and give you more energy to do the things you love. Go get your supply of Ultimate Sirt Juice now with a $20 discount by going to getsirt.com/inspired. That's getsirt.com/inspired, or click on a link in the description box down below.
We are coming to you with breaking and truly historic news. As the first leading nation of the world, the United States of America have just announced a monumental reconciliation project. In a joint statement, representatives of various agencies, departments, and task forces have disclosed that the announcement of the reconciliation project is a result of a multi-decade investigation with the participation of thousands of individuals, including both government employees and private citizens. The objective of the reconciliation project is to restore the Republic and reactivate the Constitution as the law of the land. While more details will be announced in the following days and weeks, it is expected that America will be going through a transformational process unlike anything we've seen in modern history. The representatives working under the acronym RAA, which stands for Reconcile America Alliance, will be releasing detailed reports of their findings in a public awareness campaign, for which proper broadcasting channels have already been established. According to RAA, the projected result of the reconciliation project will be a just, harmonious, united, prosperous, and healthy nation, unburdened by corruption, unnecessary bureaucracy, and unelected, clandestine leadership. What matters most is that the people learn the truth, because the truth is what led to this announcement today, a representative of RAA said. All states will be invited to form independent councils that represent the people to actively work on the reconciliation project. All suggested reforms will be presented in their entirety to the public and will be put up for vote in a newly established direct voting system, similar to a referendum process. In a personal statement, one RAA member wrote, "While there is a lot of work ahead of us, we are guided by the principles set forth in the Constitution, as well as the foundational truth that any collective system is created by the people and must be in place solely to serve the people. We anticipate that during this project, the people will be relieved of any and all unnecessary burdens. I believe the next years will truly mark the beginning of a golden age, not only for the American people, but ultimately for all people." The RAA suggests the declaration of a 30-day paid national holiday period to give the American people enough time and opportunity to watch and follow the public awareness campaign, which will be extensive but necessary. Mental health and communication hotlines, as well as physical centers, have been established to provide assistance during this period. The public awareness campaign is set to begin later today. The RAA's statement closed with the words, "The best is yet to come."
Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. It's John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Inspired live stream. It is Tuesday, March 26, 2024. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. What you just watched, yes, of course, was an AI-generated statement. We didn't want it to appear as a deepfake, as something really real. However, I want to dive a little bit into this message. There's nothing to do with Nasara, Jasara, like people suggested in the comments whatsoever. If you play this back, what is this? This is a creation, right? We created this. I sat here all morning I actually woke up this morning and felt inspired to write a script like that, and put it out there. But what is everything that we see around us today? It's a creation. It started as a thought. Maybe it was a collective thought, maybe it was an individual thought, but it started as a thought. And later it turned into a sequence of events, and then it began turning into a collective reality. This is how things come to be, by the way. I'm not saying what we put out in this little video here is what is supposed to happen or likely to happen, but I'm also not saying that this isn't a possibility. What I'm saying is that with all the information that we are gathering, with all the madness that is happening around us, that we're learning, we need to do something constructive and positive with that information. And for years and years and years, decades, in my experience, personal experience, I've known people that have been waiting for these public announcements. Were waiting for these mass arrests. They were waiting for something flashy to happen, some video to appear, something to appear. And perhaps one day it will. But it starts with each and every one of us. And why I think that this is not out of the question that something like this would happen is because just over the last few years, Christine and I have connected with so many groups and people that are pretty quietly actually working in their own field to transform, revolutionize their own field and the system. They're doing it every day. And these people are beginning to connect with each other. These groups are beginning to connect with each other. They're beginning to do joint ventures. They're beginning to have collective group goals and whatnot. And they're inviting everybody in to go and work with them. This is not something, this change that we are co-creating together, that's not coming from the top down. This is grassroots. This is created by the people, of the people, by the people, for the people. That's really how this is created. But we have to be able to envision that. We have to be able to envision that and take our talking points out of the hopium world. You know, I'll give you one big talking point that comes over and over and over again. All you have to do is focus on your consciousness and awareness. That's all you have to do. And you have to raise your vibration, and then you will ascend into the 5D world, and everything will be good there. Sorry, but there's not a fiber. There's not a cell. There's not an inch of me that can envision or believe that, because that's simply not how any aspect of my life has ever worked. There are wonderful things. There are, even to a certain degree, almost miraculous things that have transpired. There's great synchronicity. There are amazing things that have happened in my life, but nothing just magically changed all in and of itself. But what if we took all these fantasies, these fairy tales, and we took them and brought them into, okay, so what is the next step that I can do? What is the next thing that I can do and I can take? What is it that I can improve at this moment in time for my family, my community, for my life? Because that is concrete. That is something you can actually wrap your mind around. And that's something you can actually accomplish. Just a baby step. I envision absolutely that in the near future, there will be, and it is already happening to a certain degree, there will be a public awareness campaign, which means that large numbers of people will observe the same information at the same time, whether that's because it's broadcasted on the TVs or on social media, but it will happen. So certain social media channels and programs have been insulated for that particular purpose. We are seeing that to a much smaller degree on certain social media platforms where the information cannot be stopped and where algorithms are not even there to stop it any longer. You go and we all can think about X/Twitter and Elon Musk, what we think. And I know a lot of us are on the same page. There's no trust there. Absolutely not. I don't trust the guy, whatsoever. However, I'll say this. The platform is currently Very open, not fully open. It doesn't allow certain subjects like it was expected. But for certain things, it is like wildfire. Certain information spreads like wildfire. So here's the thing. We are creating collective momentum. What does that mean? Well, when we discover a truth and we amplify it with our voices and we share it together and we talk about it, then we create collective momentum. And then more of that, like a wave, begins to roll. And so imagine if the announcement that we created here with this AI video is actually true. Could you imagine that there is a joint task force, if you will, that bureaucrats from various agencies, that private individuals, that groups have come together and are really working on transformation? Do you think it's possible? Because if you don't think that it's possible, then it will never happen. But we're going to need a whole of society approach, actually. And what that means is that a small but dedicated critical mass portion of society will sort of lead this whole thing. And the larger part of society that always follows, I'm sorry, that's just how it is. That's statistically, that's how it's always been. They will start following that because it will mean a better, a freer, a more prosperous life for them as well. But if we're not having these conversations, if you can't imagine, and this is something that sometimes, it pisses me off. It pisses me off when people say there is nothing that we can do. And there's really nothing that we can accomplish against these dark forces or aggressors. What does that do? It gives them so much power. It gives them so much power. It's not that they had it. We give it to them by believing that they're all powerful, that there's nothing that we can do when our spirit, our creativity, and who we really are is beyond anything they could ever hope to be. And that's why they need us, by the way. That's why they need our creativity. They need our consciousness. They need our spirit. They need that in the hive mind. So why not direct some of our energy very, very focused in this direction? I'm tired of hearing of the fairy tales that one day we'll just wake up and everything will be good. Remember 2012? Excuse me. Remember 2012? In the years before, the people that were suffering, whatever in whatever area of their lives, they were buying it hook, line, and sinker. December 21, 2012 is the day you're going to wake up and the world will be transformed. Guess what? In many ways, of course it was. Of course things have happened since. Of course we've seen a huge transformation, but it wasn't like all of a sudden they woke up in the land of milk and honey and it was all done for them. No. And this just keeps us in this loop longer than necessary. I would much rather go and say, what is the next practical step that we can take? What is a practical step in our lives? And that's how we approached it. One day after the other, over a period of years, Christine and I have sat down and said, okay, what's the next step we're going to take? What's the next step we're going to take? What direction are we leading our family into? What kind of people do we want to connect to? What kind of projects are we co-creating together? How are we supporting this? What do we want to put out into the world? What kind of message is coming through us that we're here to share? If you start doing that, just one thing at a time, then this breakthrough must happen. It must happen. It must happen. There is, and if 2020 taught us one thing, it is possible. It is possible to stop the wheels that are driving this system. They stopped the wheels. They put a halt to everything and they showed us something. They showed us it's possible. They showed us it's possible to speak with almost one voice, to project an image onto all people, They used it in a nefarious way. But what they taught us is that it's possible, that we could use this beautiful internal power that we have to speak with one voice and create a vision and amplify it and put it out there that benefits all. That we have that, and that you can stop the wheels of this perpetual negative system of turning. I mean, there were some beautiful things, remember, we saw in 2020? There were some amazing things. Just remember the images, the videos from around the world. Remember how quickly bodies of waters became cleaner, how quickly animals reappeared in our sphere, how quickly nature began to regenerate. All of this in a matter of a few days and weeks. It's not that we look at those years and just take the bad, take the good. And we saw that if there is a will, then there is a way to change the world on a dime. And that's what we saw during those years. Again, it was done for nefarious reasons. It didn't succeed whatsoever fully, only partially, not fully. In many ways, it couldn't succeed whatsoever. And here we stand at the same moment, and we have to finally ask ourselves, are we going to think and create a bigger vision? Are we going to actually expand beyond our comfort zone? Or are we going to continue to wait? Professional waiting, right? Professional hoping. Hopium. What does that mean, hopium? It's a mix of the words hope and opium. It's an addiction to false hope. Like I've said many times before, addiction to false hope that the Savior will come. And somebody said it beautifully in a comment. There are two things that happen that allow for whole civilizations to be extinguished. One is for the truth to stay undiscovered. Now we have passed that threshold. We are discovering the truth. The second thing is to fall for the Savior story and not do anything about it. The Savior can be a religious figure. The Savior can be a human being, but it cannot be in the arena of this cabal. It can never be you. It can never be the person in the mirror. You can never have so much power. But that's the person. That's the Savior. That's your Savior. It's a consciousness. Just add, if you are of the belief that Christ is the Savior, just add Christ consciousness. Just add the word consciousness to it, and you will see that it is you embodying that consciousness. You embodying that consciousness. There's two ways. There's two ways to look at it. You can invest all your energy into something outside of you, or you can invest all your energy into becoming like that which you desire to save you. We're so close. The truth has been compartmentalized. It has been hidden, but we're so close to putting the pieces back together in the right way. And I do anticipate a very, very beautiful period. That period will be difficult and beautiful at the same time, but will be more beautiful than difficult. Just imagine if we can get on the same page, one little community after the other, one little neighborhood after the other, and just focus on truth, focus on freedom, focus on unity, and those things. And maybe tomorrow, in a year, 2 years from now, in the morning, you'll look at a screen, or somebody will call you and say, hey, turn on this or that, and you'll see a powerful announcement. And you know what will have created this? All of us together. This is what we need more of. Much more of. Understanding that everything we see in the world today was first created in thought. All of these systems were first created in thought. Somebody thought of it. And then that somebody expressed that thought and talked to others about it. And then they merged their thoughts And it turned into a creative power. And then they took inspired action. Do you think that whoever created all of this is more powerful than you and you don't have that? Trust that you have it too. And trust that we can do it. So let's do it now. Let's get to the solutions. Let's get to the doing. You know, every day. Today, what happened? What happened that gave us an opportunity today to see that things are moving? Well, this whole rapper, the P. Diddy thing. I don't know if you've seen this, but yesterday, all of his residences were raided. And of course, people are coming out and they're saying, oh, they're just trying to cover things up. Oh, they're just trying to hide their tracks. What's come out? It's out there. The conversation is out there. The lawsuit is out there. Sex trafficking charges are out there. Implications of other celebrities and big shots are out there. It's already happening. And not everything is a distraction, right? So things are moving forward. Why? Because we never let up. Because we never gave up, because we weren't quiet, because we didn't shut up, because we didn't walk away, because we didn't give up. That's why. All of the things that you see that are bringing greater truth forward, give yourself some credit for that. You either helped amplify a message, you yourself put a lot of energy in discovering and uncovering something, you shared that, you talked about it, you thought about it, you connected with others around it. You supported others who did that. In some way, shape, or form, you were involved. Give yourself some credit. But don't sit on that credit. Keep going. Keep going. Eventually, we can recreate a society. Thank you so much, Love Buzz. Really, really appreciate it. Eventually, we can recreate a society of co-creators, where more people than not are aware that everything that is created in this world starts here, starts with a thought, and then it turns into a feeling, and then it turns into an image, and then that turns into an idea, and that turns into inspiration, and that turns into inspired action, and that turns into reality, my friends. So, yes, we created this video at the beginning of this live stream. But guess what? So was everything else out there. So start with the vision. Get going. Let's do this together. Thank you all so much. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Thank you for always being with us. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll be back with you again very, very soon.